Hey, I'm Vlad with GlobMarble, and I'm going to show you 2 ways of creating realistic looking wood using our VS 5002 mold. The first thing that we got to talk about is the materials that we're going to use. I'm going to be making my own batch of concrete with sand and cement because all concrete additives are dosed on the cement weight instead of the weight of the concrete as a whole. When you buy a pre-mixed bag from Home Depot, you never know how much of the cement content there is inside of the bag, and I end up not getting accurate measurements. If you want to use store-bought concrete anyways, you can skip to this far into the video. So both of these batches are basically the same, except this one has oxide pigment. We're going to talk about that later. First, let's talk about the cement. The cement I'm using is a mix of 50% Portland cement and 50% CSA cement. The addition of that CSA cement is going to let me demold a lot quicker than usual. At 50% ratio, the set time is about 18 minutes. If I wasn't using the CSA, I would have to demold completely the next day. You could use exclusively CSA cement like I did in my video where I did an accent wall, but I don't want to work that quickly right now. I'm just doing it at 50%. For the filler, I'm only going to be using sand, no gravel. This is going to make the mix a lot more workable, and it's also going to reduce the amount of bubbles and bug holes I get. Then let's move on to the SuperPlasticizer. Now you could tell the water amount I'm using looks a little bit too low for the batch that I'm mixing, and that's because I'm using the SuperPlasticizer. It reduces the amount of water I need to put in the concrete, therefore making the concrete stronger. It's dosed at a 1% of the total cement weight. And finally, for this batch, I have an integral pigment. I'm going to be using the Davis Color 641, but they have a bunch of different other colors that you could choose from. I'm doing it at a dose of 1 pound of pigment per 94 pounds of cement. The more of the pigment you add, the more potent the concrete's going to be, but this batch is just going to be gray concrete. So if you're confused about how much materials I'm putting inside of the mix, every single mold has detailed mixing instructions. I'm using the mixing instructions from the website. Now the first thing I want to add to the mix is the water, which is going to make it a lot easier to mix. It's going to be a lot quicker than if you were to add the water later. Then I'm going to put the sand. I like putting the sand first because I don't want that cement to start drying up on the bottom and the corners. So we're going to put the sand, and only then are we going to put the cement. And for sake of demonstration, I'm not going to put the SuperPlasticizer yet. I'm just going to show you what this mix looks like without it and then what it looks like with it. Stick our mixer in. Now you can see the mix is completely sandy. It's unworkable. Let's add our SuperPlasticizer. And ideally, you wouldn't want to do this. You'd want to add the SuperPlasticizer into the water, but I'm just showing you guys a demonstration. Now I'm going to go and hit the edges and the bottom of the bucket just to make sure there's no unmixed material. Like that. Now we have our mold on the vibration table. What the vibration table does is it vibrates the concrete and makes sure that there's no bubbles inside of it. If you can't afford a vibration table, you can make a pretty cheap one out of a car tire like I did in a previous video. I just put the mold release so that the concrete doesn't stick to the mold, so that it releases. Let's pour it out. Let's turn on the switch and vibrate. Now you don't want to vibrate for too long. You don't want the heavy aggregates to sink down to the bottom, the light ones float to the top. So maybe about 1 minute is good enough to vibrate. Now I'm gonna be using the same bucket, so let's do everything quickly and right. Put the water in the bucket, SuperPlasticizer and pigment. So these are what our 2 options look like so far. This one looks way better than this one because we haven't finished coloring them, but at least it looks somewhat like wood, but we're not done with either of them yet. Both of these are one color throughout the entire piece. Over here it looks a little bit darker just because of the shadows, but I want it to be 2-dimensional everywhere, so I'm going to use a product called EcoStain. It's gonna make the deep points darker, the top points lighter. It's gonna give it this kind of accenting color, and it's definitely gonna make it look a lot more realistic. Color I'm gonna be using is Espresso, but we have a lot of different earth tones to work with also. Now what I like about the EcoStain is that it's a water-based concentrate. Water-based meaning it's gonna be a lot easier to clean up. If I don't like what I did, if I messed up, I can easily remove it. And it being a concentrate, I can control how intense I want that color to be. Because this concrete already has those brown pigments inside of it, I'm not gonna have to use nearly as much of this as I am gonna have to for the gray one. So let's color the brown one first with a 3 parts water to 1 part stain dilution. So the coverage of it is about 200 square feet per gallon, but that's when it's uncut. I diluted it 3 parts water, 1 part stain, so I basically quadrupled that. It's about 800 gallons. And then I went ahead and put it into a pump sprayer. This pump sprayer, I'm basically pumping air into the sprayer, and then I'm gonna be able to press the trigger one time and it launches a continuous stream of stain, and you're not gonna have to sit there and try to squeeze the trigger over and over again. 1 minute into that, you're gonna be wishing you had one of these. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like with the stain on top of it. As you see, it made it a little bit darker, but with time, you see the light parts stay light, the dark parts, the deep points stay darker. Be sure to hit the edges. As it dries out, it's gonna get a little bit lighter, but what it's gonna look like at the end result is how it looks like when it's wet. Because it's the water-based, you can move it around with a paper towel, with a sponge, with anything. I didn't like it. I think there was too much of that material on there. I think I took too much off. I light spray one more time. For now, that looks pretty good. Let's go for the uncolored one. And this is the same dilution rate as last time. Let's see how good it is at masking this ugly gray concrete look. Now it looks way more of like a green tint than the other one does, but I can't say that it doesn't look like wood. It really does remind me of some type of wood. The term coming to mind is like aged wood. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more stain, and then we're gonna wait for both of these to dry. So these both just dried out, and now we have a couple of options. Either we can leave it as is and continue with the sealing, or we can make a couple of other sample pieces to see which options we like better. This one's the one with no integral pigment, this one's the one with integral pigment. You could see I did 3 separate tests. Same method I showed last time, but on the center one, I didn't touch it at all. I just left the stain on there and continued sealing. On this side, I wanted a lot of contrast, so I took a paper towel, I wet it with some water, and I very gently rubbed off the very peaks while trying to keep the bottom as dark as possible. On this side, I went a different approach. I took the paper towel, I soaked it in stain, and then I moved it around. I think I like this version a lot better for the one with oxide pigment, but I'm gonna go with the high contrast version for the one without. Go ahead, spray some water on a paper towel and start working that in. Want a little bit more. And while it's wet, you notice that the color gets a little bit more intensified. That's what it's gonna look like closer to the end product, because we're gonna be putting that sealer on there, and the sealer does make everything pop and get a little bit darker than when it's bone dry. And then for this one, almost the same thing, except instead of water, we're gonna use some more of that stain. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I do want to see a lot more color intensity on this one. So an easy way to quickly do that is, instead of using water, I'm going to use a little bit of denatured alcohol. That works much quicker than the water does. Or it looks much nicer, to be honest. I like this version more. And that's all. Now the last thing to do once this is dried is to put on the sealer. The sealer's gonna lock that stain in place, make sure it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't rub off on people's clothing, and also it's just going to make it look prettier and protect the stone. Now for a stone about this size, you typically want to wait about 7 days before sealing it or installing it to anything because of shrinkage, because of moisture being retained inside of there. I did a video on what happens if you seal too early. In general, not a good look. I'm going to be using the HS200 high gloss sealer, but if you want a matte finish, you could always use it in conjunction with the matting additive. It's a single component sealer, so you don't have to, oh, that's too much. Let me take most of that, try to put it onto over there. Like I was saying, this is a single component sealer. You don't have to mix part A, part B next to it. And you can see how that sealer really got those colors popping out. There's still a lot on this one, damn. Should make it to the blooper section. But always remember not only to do the surface, but also the sides of your stones. And now we just gotta wait for it to dry. So here's a close-up of the one with Oxide pigment. And here's the one with regular gray concrete. Now the downside to not using those Integral pigments is not only a less realistic looking wood, but you're also going to be in trouble if the concrete chips in some sort of way, because the color is only topical. Let's say you chip off, there's going to be that gray concrete color underneath there. Here's an example. As opposed to this one. But we can't pretend that this is completely unnoticeable. But there's nothing that a little bit of that sealer won't do to help hide. So you've made it to the end of my video, but now I want to ask you for a quick favor. See, the YouTube algorithm gets tricked into showing my video to a lot more people if a lot of people comment on it. So criticize me, praise me, or just ask a question. As long as you leave a comment, I'm going to appreciate it a lot. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.